morning. I told you today was gonna be gorgeous, and I feel quite accomplished already. I got bread rising, kids' school are done, and I've got one of the beds finished already. Boom. So I only got one more to go. Hubby's gonna pick up the mulch tomorrow, so today we're gonna spend double digging, getting stuff prepped, and all that fun stuff. Boom! This one is done. Technically, all of them are done. At least getting the sod off. This one kicked my freaking butt. This one was way more work than the last two I just did, and I'll show you why. So, this is all root mass from this grass. And all this dirt came up with it. See the roots coming out the bottom? That stuff is freaking heavy. So, this one took a little longer, but I gotta feed the heathens. My bread's ready for a second rising. So we're gonna take a quick lunch break and we'll be right back at it. Show you something. So I got this bed turned over and raked out as, I guess, as evenly as I could. I wanted to spread out this straw and those wood ashes as evenly as possible. But look. It is gorgeous. Okay, and this is just from this rabbit manure and straw being here, sitting since, let's see, I think the snow melted for the first time in February, and that's when I had the straw and rabbit poop put in here. But look at this. I mean, you can still see the sand from deeper, because this is our soil. Sand. Straight sand. But look at, that's so pretty. I'm so freaking excited. Because it looks like the compost we made last year. I'll show you the compost. Some of the compost that we put in the potato bucket. So you can see there's still lots of straw, eggshells, but it's just, I'm really excited because I didn't know what I was doing, and it looks like dirt. It looks like dirt. So I think that's the coolest thing ever. So I still got to get these filled with compost and sand, but I'm going to finish turning over those beds. I just wanted to show you, just within so little time and even cold temperatures, that things are changing, and it is quite exciting. Some of the compost that we put in the potato bucket. So you can see there's still lots of straw, eggshells, but it's just, I'm really excited because I didn't know what I was doing, and it looks like dirt. It looks like dirt. So I think that's the coolest thing ever. So I still got to get these filled with compost and sand, but I'm going to finish turning over those beds. I just wanted to show you, just within so little time and even cold temperatures, that things are changing, and it is quite exciting. So they have all been turned over, and some people might ask, well, why'd you turn it over? Why not just leave it alone? And I'm going to show you why. See if I can get a good background. This, I don't know what kind of grass it is, But look at that root. That is one root. One thing. So, as you can see, there's still some along the edges. So, I might have to do it again next year. But these suckers, they're in here. And I wanted to get as many of them out. Most of them were along the edges. There's still a few, but I'm hoping I got most of them. And it won't be as weedy as it was last year. Now, I want to... this here, I think this is spinach. My spinach last year was an epic failure. When it came up as sprouts, I thought it was grass. And so I picked most of it out. And by the time I realized what I was doing, I had replanted, but it was already too hot. So it bolted and went to seed at like 4 inches tall. And I think this is, this is one of the things that came up when the weather started warming up. So I'm thinking, I saw a few earthworms in here. So I'm thinking this is going to do really, really well. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Especially this one. It's going to be our three sisters. I can't wait to see how that is going to turn out. It's going to be freaking awesome. So, I got these turned over. And the next thing I'm going to do is finish filling the potato beds with sand and compost. Alright, got all my potato bins ready for planting. Lots of little worms in here. I was very excited. So, there's something I want to show you. You see the shadow line? The shadows travel in like a diagonal direction. Across our yard. They don't come directly this way, and they also don't go directly this way. It's kind of a diagonal formation. So, putting the three sisters here could possibly shade some stuff out here. But this is where I would like to put things like greens and spinach and things like that. And they did not do very well in the heat of the summer, so I'm hoping the shade in the hottest part of the day will help that. So, I know typically you don't plant that stuff later in the summer, but I figured, hey, why not? Maybe it'll help, and we'll see what we can get out of it. So, there's that. Now I'm going to go get our topsoil and start making mounds for the three sisters. Alright, mounds are finished. And we'll see if they stay together. If we get heavy rain, they probably won't stay together, and I might have to remound it. But this is pretty much how I want it to look. This is my interpretation of directions on how to set this up. So, the corn and the pole beans will go in the top of the mounds here. And the mound creates a little more space so there isn't a bunch of tanglement with roots. So, and then the squash will be placed along the edges here. I know I'm going to have a little spillover on the sides when it comes to the squash plants. I just don't know how much. I have not grown these varieties, so we'll see how they do. Last year we did zucchini and crookneck, and they were real bushy. They're big and bushy, but they were kind of bushy. This year I'm doing spaghetti squash and acorn squash. So I don't know if those are more viney-like or if they stay kind of compact and bushy. So we'll see. Now I gotta get to turning over these new beds. Okay. This is why I go over and double dig all our new beds to make sure we won't have something like this. Because you know how irritating it would have been to find this when we're trying to transplant tomatoes. I would have not been a happy camper. Now, so you can see, there's nothing big enough growing to have roots like that. But there used to be. So, if you got trees anywhere near your garden area, I suggest you take the time and double dig your beds. So, this one I knew I'd find some roots. Those ones over there, that one on the far corner, nothing. Probably won't find nothing. We got lots of trees. So, it's kind of a lot of work. But it's worth it to get it done now rather than having to do it when you're trying to transplant and losing a day or so when you should have plants in the ground. What the are you serious? All these suckers were right here when I'm so freaking close to being done. Oh, so I finally got it done. Now I gotta fill in this giant hole and try to smooth this out as best I can. Holy shnikey. I'm about to call it a day. I'm exhausted. I think I'm going to ask hubby to finish topping them off with poop and framing them out. Holy cow. Alright, folks. I'm tired and I'm calling it quits. It's about 4 o'clock. I've got an hour before I got to start dinner. So I'm going to relax, enjoy this gorgeous sunshine, and my well-deserved highball. And you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming to see me.